Allahu Akbar.
May Allah bless you and reward you and elevate you and use you for all that is good. Use you as a voice, not just for our community, but for all of those that are in need. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep you sincere, keep you firm, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put tranquility always in your heart and in the hearts of your family. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to all be joined with the most awesome man that you mentioned, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, in Jannat al-Firdaus. Allahumma ameen. Everyone say ameen.
Ameen.
Alhamdulillah. So, I think that, the first thing that came to my mind immediately, and this is just personal connection as well, your mother. May Allah have mercy on her. I also lost my mother to cancer. And I just want you to talk about that a little bit, if you don't mind, inshallah.
Yeah.
Her influence on you and as a person and what you see from that.
She would be so happy for me to be here with you. And she was just a phenomenal woman who inspired me so much. Her and my grandmother and the Muslims that I mentioned earlier, they set the foundation for me to not be afraid to be Muslim. What you saw in city council, a lot of people called me and they emailed me man, we were so happy to see you say takbir. And I was like, so we do, man. That's what we do, man. That ain't nothing new. We say takbir, Allahu Akbar, in the middle of the street. We don't care. You're not sending us nowhere, So my mother, she was just a phenomenal woman, and she was very serious about Islam. My grandmother was very serious about Islam. My grandfather, they were very serious about Islam. And I love Islam. I'm not the best Muslim, so I don't want you to think for 1 second I'm that. But I love Islam, and I don't know where I would be without it. And my mother, she was very big on service, giving back to the community. And I don't get into that, if people are Christian or they have other ways of life. I don't care about that stuff. That's Allah's business. It's not up for us. Lakum dinukum waliya din. It's not for me to make somebody Muslim. What I want people to say is that I helped them because I was a human being. And then they say, oh, wow, and you're Muslim. Oh, wow, oh, okay. So by the time they find out that I'm Muslim, their hearts are already inclined to what we're doing because I'm there paying for their children's funerals, or I'm there, when their children are shot in the hospital. I'm there at every aspect. So anything good that you see in me is my mother. Anything bad, I picked it up along the way. That's me. Inshallah, make dua for me.
Inshallah, may Allah bless you.
Ameen.
How's the response been in Cleveland to you being the...
Shukran, thank you. Thank you. I get this crying from my mother, too. The response has been interesting. As I said earlier, to run for city council, I ran against an incumbent. I actually ran 4 years ago, and I lost by 600 votes. I ran again, I won by 13 votes. Voting matters, okay? And we raised, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. And I raised $80,000, $80,000. You usually, to run for city council in Cleveland, maybe $35,000. I raised $80,000. 77,000 came from the Jewish community who believed in the message that I was giving. Alhamdulillah. I appreciate you for clapping, but I was really upset about it, honestly, that the Muslims only gave 3,000. And I have 2 masjids in my area, and neither one of them supported me in my race. But now everyone supports me now. But I would say to the Muslims out there who are engaged and get engaged in politics, you have to vote, whether you think so or not. Politics affects your everyday life. And we have to be involved so that our voices are heard. So one of the first things that I did when I became councilman is I brought the congresswoman into the masjid and said that you have to speak on behalf of what's going on in Syria and what's going on in Palestine. You have to speak up about this, because if not, who's going to speak up? And the best people to speak up about this are the indigenous Muslims of here in America. Because they can't send us nowhere. Where are they going to send us? Nope, this is our country. This is what we fought for. And this is your country too. So you might as well speak up and speak out about it. So, alhamdulillah, I'm happy to be on city council, but more importantly, to receive all the messages that I receive from all across the globe. I'm going to Nigeria, I'm going to Pakistan, I'm going to these places where Muslims are really excited, and I'm happy that they're excited. And I'm happy that you're excited, and I'm happy that you're proud, because that's the only thing that I really wanted. I wanted the Muslims to be proud and to be confident to be Muslim, so that when you put that hijab on, you know what I mean? Like, you happy, you proud. And I want to say to the men who are here, man, I'm sorry, can I?
I'll look the other way.
I see stories of certain cities where Muslim women are getting their hijabs pulled off. I'm like, what? Man, let that happen in Cleveland, man. Let that happen in Cleveland. Oh my God. SubhanAllah, I'm not promoting violence, but I'm promoting you standing up for your community. If somebody can disrespect your woman and you do nothing about it, we're doomed as a community and as men. And then the women grow a resentment towards their men. Like, where are you to stand up? They grow a resentment. Where are the men? Where are the men? Domestic violence is real, Sheikh, in the Muslim community. Domestic violence is a real thing. So you come home and you beat your, not y'all, I'm not talking about y'all. I'm talking about your cousins, some of your cousins in it. You beat your wife, but when it comes to standing up for justice, you're silent. I mean, that's, you know, mashallah. May Allah help us all.
I mean, and I think
like, Sheikh, I'm sorry.
No, do your thing.
When I saw you getting arrested in DC, I believe it was, it brought tears to my eyes. I was telling my wife, I said, I wish I was there with him. Like, why is he getting arrested without me? Like, I want to be right there with him. To see you, Imam, you are the example. I'm not trying to, I know. But you are the example of what Muslims should be doing in this country. Stand up, speak out. Wallahi, man. When I see you out there, when I see the sister Linda, I don't know what the sister Linda, man, I'll be so excited, because this is what Muslims should be doing. We have to stand up and speak out for justice despite who it's against or who it's for. And when people see you, then they start saying, because let me be honest with you, the majority of businesses that are owned in my community are owned by Muslims. And it has La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, so it's in the background, but 40 ounces being sold out of their coolers. So this has an impact on people's view of what Muslims are. But when we see you, we are inspired and we are motivated, and we say, this is what Islam is supposed to be.
I love you and I appreciate you.
I love you.
And subhanAllah, I really do mean that, but this is about you. So we're going
to
shift it back on you.
SubhanAllah.
MashaAllah, you've been an inspiration to all of us, alhamdulillah. And I really do mean that, truly mean that. The confidence that's in your voice when you talk about your deen, and the confidence and the sincerity of it. May Allah bless you. And allow that to be on the scale of your mother as well, because I know that's what counts to you.
Ameen.
I want to just kind of speak to this really quickly. Tell me about, we have to speak for justice for all. When you look in Islam, who are the heroes that you draw inspiration from? You mentioned the Prophet ﷺ. What is it that you're drawing from? What's keeping you going from your faith? Because I think that's what I really want to get to for the crux of it, for all of us. What keeps you going through this?
You know, when we study, I'm also a student at Bayon Claremont. For my folks, anybody from California here? Anybody Cali? No? All right. But I'm a student at Bayon Claremont, and I received the Muhammad Ali Scholarship, so I'm getting my master's in Islamic Studies and Leadership.
MashaAllah. MashaAllah.
But of course, the Prophet ﷺ, I mean, when you look at his life, he was just so courageous and so loving. And look at this hadith, Sheikh. When a man came to the Prophet ﷺ and asked him, who do you love most? He said, I love Aisha. Like, that's a sign, like, he said, well, no, of the men who you love. Her father. So it's all if your wife ain't your best friend, then, man, you're in a messed up situation, man. But even he loved the one that was connected to his wife, which is his father. So I wanted to say thank you to my family, man. My family, my wife, man, they are the, man, she a beat. There she go, what's up, baby? This is my girl right there. I mean, look. You know what I mean? She, you know, they are, my family have an amazing family. But, you know, I don't look that far. I look at people like Imam Jamil Al-Amin, who's still locked down right now, and who stood up and fought for justice. I look at people like Imam Warfdeen Muhammad. I look at these people who are right here, Muhammad Ali, who is my hero. I look at people like this. But I look at my mother. I look at my grandmother. I look at my aunties and uncles who are from communities right here in this country. And now, alhamdulillah, through ICNA, I'm getting a chance to meet my brothers and sisters from Philistine and from Jordan and from, you know what I mean, Somalia. Somalia, you here? Iska Warden. Hey, Wafiani, hey, okay.